Are you missing the upsell in your marketing? I'm Ben. This is Building Business. I've got Jim Aline here. And I think really what I'm talking about here is partners. And you might go, what does that have to do with upsell? Well, most customers I talk to are dealing with multiple problems when they talk to their homeowner. They're like, yeah, we're going out here to do your gutters. But then you say, well, it might be nice to get my siding done and my roof. And you know what? I was thinking about solar too. And that contractor says, well, we're just gutters. We don't know. Big missed opportunity.
Big missed opportunity. Big missed opportunity to be a consultant to that homeowner, to that property owner, right? The relationships that you can build within the market, to help them solve the problems that they're having, huge advantage.
There's a classic book. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It's called Crossing the Chasm. It's from the 90s. It's kind of fun because it's like, hey, it looks like the internet might be a big thing. It's like one of these technology early. But he talks about something, Jeffrey Moore, about something called the whole product. And what he says is the theory is when a customer comes to you with a problem, they don't want you to solve a part of the problem. They want you to solve the whole problem. And so they're going to search for the person that can solve the whole problem. And that's when you're ready for the big time, is when you have the whole product solution. I love the concept of this because when you can start listening to your customers, you go, we're not a whole product yet. We're actually missing on this or this or this. And I think that's exactly what you're talking about here. And there's two sides to this. One is, homeowners asking you, are you the consultant that brings them the other options? And the other side is, are you plugged in well enough with other contractors so when they're out at that homeowner, they're bringing you into that deal? How do you do that?
Yeah, we have clients that are just roofing contractors.
Yep.
They won't touch siding. They won't touch windows. They won't touch your deck. They won't touch your fence. They won't touch anything else on your property except for your roof. And so for them to go out and develop relationships with a good siding company, with a good gutter company, with a good fence company, with a good deck company, with a home remodeling company that'll do additions right, and to have those resources to provide to that homeowner. If you are not the one giving that recommendation, they're going to go find someone. What may happen when they go find someone,
that person gives them the whole product.
Or recommends they use a different company
That's
for
what
yours.
I mean.
Yeah,
say,
exactly.
Actually, don't just use this for gutters because these guys wouldn't help you. We can do the roof too.
We can just do it all.
Yeah.
We'll just take care of it all.
Well, that's the whole product for me. That's way easier. It's one cost for me, or one way I look at the cost. Frankly, if you're using financing, it's even more genius because now you can pre-qual for what they can offer. Or
on the entire project, yeah.
Afford, I should say. And then the interesting thing is you can, if you're smart when you're out there, you're like, hey, I noticed that your deck has some broken boards on it and looking pretty old and rough here. We actually work with the top deck contractor in the area. So while we're doing your siding, we can get these guys to come out and do the deck too. And it looks like you're pre-qual for that whole amount right now.
So I feel like every contractor should be almost in a niche with their core services, right? They really need to focus on their core services and not do everything. That's a belief of mine. I think that there is enough room in being a roofing contractor, a gutter contractor, a siding contractor, a fence contractor, a deck contractor. Stand alone, there's enough business in that.
That's right.
And there are a lot of issues as if you try to be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
So
that's clear. We're not suggesting that you go out and do all this yourself at all.
That's right. But find the relationships in the market, because that company that focuses on siding and does siding really well, and that's their core competency, can then refer people who need a roof to you. And you can refer your siding customers to them. And it creates this nice reciprocal loop that makes everyone happy.
Sometimes in this industry, I've come across some personalities that had some pretty strong egos. Just is what it is. It happens in every industry. And there's almost like a adversarial relationship between you and certainly your competitors gets really ugly sometimes, but even just other subs that aren't working for you that might be working for the other contractor or something. And you're really missing out if you've got that kind of relationship. It should be the exact opposite. You're like Switzerland. We want to work with everybody, and we're building relationships with everybody. It's all about collaboration if you want to make this work.
For sure. And every general contractor listening to this will understand this. The trades, every sub that you have coming into your project, if you're more of a GC and doing remodels and things like that, the electrician is going to talk badly about the plumber, and the plumber is going to talk badly about the framer.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. And so there's a lot of that goes on, right? And, But if you can develop the right relationships, if you know like that you know, as a GC, you have to develop the right subs that can work efficiently and together on these projects. And so that collaboration that you can have it's so beneficial to your company. So not just your subs, but having good relationships with other contractors in your area that may be able to produce those services that your customers need. It can go beyond just those relationships. I threw one out there recently on one of our previous episodes about, getting involved in your community and, with your local restaurants and your local, auto mechanic, or, things like that. If they're working on your truck, you can promote them.
Yeah, exactly right.
To your homeowners. Hey, you know where I get all of my work done on my vehicles? I go over here.
Yep.
Right. And that person, someone's in waiting for their car to get fixed, and they're chatting with them, and they're like, yeah, that storm came through last week, and, there's about 50 people knocked on my door, and I don't even know. You know what? You should call this company. Right. So the relationships that you build in the community, those are those referrals. That it's building referrals, just a different source.
Yep. This really matters to us. As a company, JobNimbus, we from day one have focused on trying to bring the industry together. We have by far the most integrations by a large margin of anybody else out there. And it's because this is a core value. We want to collaborate, and we want to offer customers the whole solution. So they don't have to go a lot of different places. They can connect the stuff up right into JobNimbus, whatever way they want to do it.
They can connect it.
Yep.
But you don't have to be the solution.
We didn't build it. We didn't build it. Yeah, exactly. And we just built the connector.
Yep.
So when I think about this, I say, okay, you have to have that relationship, that sort of collaboration, friendliness. But there's kind of two different ways that we even set this up that I see contractors could do as well. Number one is just do a referral relationship. We get a lot of customers through our partners. We send our partners a lot of customers too. And it's this great virtuous cycle. We're helping each other out. So that's one. And that's the easiest one. Just, hey, guys, if we send you a referral, we're going to start sending you some. Be the guy that's doing the karma one way. It will come back to you. They will start sending you. Just kind of get on the same page. Make sure you have a process. It's one thing to say, oh, yeah, we'll send you stuff. And then you're like, well, who should I call over there? Is there a form we fill out? Design a simple process that also get everybody thinking about it and actually doing it. And then the other one that I see a lot is referral relationship around a monetary thing. Like, hey, if you give us a referral and we close it, we'll give you a kickback of $100 or whatever, $500, whatever the deal size is type thing. I've seen both of those work. That one's a harder one to get started with, so I actually recommend just the referral to start with. But I've actually seen a lot of contractors make good money off of just the referral relationships over time.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I like to start with, like you, starting out with those relationships that are just reciprocal, right? I like what you guys do, so I'm going to send business your way. And hopefully you like what we do and you'll send business back to us. But it can't get more formal than that. Yep. It can get real formal, in terms of who's referring what we're giving in return for that. And sometimes those create stronger relationships, but sometimes I think it could go either way on that. If they don't perform, right? I guess that's the challenge in having all these partnerships is
you got to pick the right.
You got to pick the right people to work with, and you may switch, right? You may switch working with this person over that person. other ideas for people who to work with. It doesn't have to be other contractors or other people. Insurance agents,
Oh, great point. Yeah.
Realtors, and anyone that has that communication with your homeowner. There's people that have built business models out of referring to insurance agents, right?
Yep.
I'm friends with them, like there's people that have, built strong companies out of referral relationships with realtors.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can build a company many different ways. But just being open to all of those partnerships, I think is the first thing you need to do. Think outside the box.
Yeah. And really, there's a large portion of people you can go after. This is a extremely untapped part. I mean, there are very few people I know that are doing this really well right now.
Yeah.
And it's a gold mine. People are really missing out if they're not focusing on this. Thanks so much for joining us. You gotta go to jobnimbus.com/building business now. We've got a bunch of resources there. There's tips and tricks, there's industry insights, and all of it is free. So go and check it out right away. JobNimbus is the best software tool to get you more organized, more efficient, and frankly, to give you your life back so you can have some life balance as you run your business.
For more information about Roofer Marketers, go to roofermarketers.com and get a copy of our free book, The Best Known Roofer, the omnipresent framework for your roofing company.